This is the Padua Podcast Network. This whole thing kind of explains why, when I was on that diet with a pound and a half of meat every day, I feel full all day. Running a Fever, episode 138, Digestion Time. Welcome to the show. My name is Michael Davis. I love my life so much that I want to make it last as long as possible. And I not only want to add years to my life, I want to add life to my years and have a long, happy, healthy, and active life right up to the very end. Today, we're talking about digestion time. I'm in the studio again, so I can tell you, yes, it's a beautiful day at Running a Fever World headquarters in my closet where I record this. By the way, working on a larger, better studio, but going to take time. And I still have the boot on. I'm still suffering from that Achilles heel injury. And so that's why I'm in the studio today. But it's a beautiful day in the studio. I don't hear anything except myself. And I don't see anything except clothing and towels and shelves and laundry and things like that are in my closet. So I read, I read Tom Brady's TB12 Method book. In it, he says, do not drink water 30 minutes before a meal. And that started getting me thinking about digestion times. And I wanted to know how long it takes to digest certain foods. Like, how long after I eat should I not drink water? And, it makes sense to me that it's different based on different foods. So I go out to a website that I will link to in the show notes that gave me the digestion times for a number of foods. So this is just the time it takes to get through the stomach, empty your stomach into the small intestine. Water, 0 minutes. It goes straight through. Fruit or vegetable juice takes 15 or 20 minutes. Raw vegetables, 30 to 40 minutes. Cooked vegetables, a full 40 minutes. Fish, 45 minutes to an hour. Salad with oil, about 1 hour. Starch vegetables like potatoes, 1.5 to 2 hours. Grains like rice, buckwheat, quinoa, that's 2 hours. Dairy takes 2 hours. Nuts take 3 hours. Chicken, 1.5 to 2 hours. Beef, 3 hours. Lamb, 4 hours. And pork is the big winner with 5 hours to get from the stomach to the small intestine. So I've got this list, and I know, based on what I'm eating, how long it's going to take to digest it. Well, how do I use this information? I don't know if I need to fast from water for 30 minutes prior. The main article suggests not to combine fast and slow digesting foods. But then that article refers to a Healthline article, which says this doesn't matter at all. And the main article also says that, you should eat fast digesting foods for breakfast and supper. That helps you get quick energy in the morning, and it lets your stomach rest at night. I'm not sure why my stomach would need rest, or if it needs rest, but it's a muscle. So, I guess it kind of makes sense a little bit. But this whole thing kind of explains why, when I was on that diet with a pound and a half of meat every day, I feel full all day. And the reason is it's taking 3 hours or, it's taken hours to get through my system. I do tend to eat fairly early supper. I'm just going to, here's the thing. Here's how my thought process works when I get a lot of conflicting information like this. I try to figure out which makes the most sense to me. If I can't understand something, if it doesn't make sense at all to me, I shouldn't take any action on it until I know for sure. Just don't take any action on it. That's what I do. So, let's go through some of these things. Fasting from water 30 minutes prior to your meal. That kind of makes sense to me. If you your water is going to, someone said, dilute your stomach acid. But it just, it's diluting everything. And so it makes sense that it would take longer for all of that to digest. I don't know, but that kind of makes sense to me. So I think, I'm kind of thinking about doing that. In fact, I've already started doing that. Now, whether, combining fast and slow foods, I don't see any reason to, there are reasons for it, just that the concept is, it's going to take longer to digest a food that would normally digest quicker if it's combined with a slow digesting food. I don't really see that as being something I need to do. It doesn't speak to me. It doesn't make enough sense to me for me to actually do it. Is it worse for me if that fast digesting food doesn't digest as fast as it would alone? Or with other fast digesting foods? I don't see that. I don't have any evidence that's telling me to do this. Now I do kind of eat fast digesting foods for breakfast and supper. This kind of makes sense to me, and, let's see, what do I have for breakfast? I have a grain. My, steel cut oats is more like a grain, and, that's a 2 hour, So, if I had fruits, or maybe I should mix some fruit with that. That's probably what I should do. I should probably get have some fruit, to give me a little more energy. I could do that. And I don't know, maybe cut out something so the calories match up. If I put my coconut oil in there, that's just fat. So it's a lot of calories. So anyway, something I'm thinking about doing, but that kind of makes sense to me. Have more energy quicker. And then in the evening, you don't go to bed and just have your stomach working all night. That part actually doesn't. Half of this makes sense to me and half of it doesn't. The morning part makes sense. The evening part doesn't, because I don't know why my stomach needs to rest. And I don't have any evidence that says it does. I don't have anything that speaks to me from this particular piece of information that says, this makes sense, I want to do it. So I'm probably going to, I tend to eat a fairly early supper at 5 p.m., but I have a casein shake before bed usually if I'm, when I'm working out. And this is supposed to be slow digesting, and it's a slow burning protein that sort of gets you through the night and makes sure that protein's always available as your body is constantly rebuilding. Now that makes a lot more sense to me than my stomach needs to rest. I could be wrong about it, but it's conflicting information. So, I got to either make a decision to do one or the other, or neither. One of them makes sense to me, one of them doesn't. So, this sounds kind of like a simplistic thing, but really just try it. If you understand it, then you should be able to make a choice, yes or no. If you don't understand it, the answer should always be no. So that is a little insight into how my brain works, because we have tons of information out there about health, about diet, fitness, and medicine. And I'm just trying to sort through it all. Hopefully it's helpful to you. Love to hear from you. It's mail@runningafever.com. If you got the fever, keep it. If you don't have it, go out and get it. Come see me at runningafever.com. I will talk to you next time on Running a Fever.